Hey guys, welcome to Two Dudes Talking. I'm DJ. That's Dustin. What's
What's
up?
up?
Welcome back. Welcome back. All right, let's get right into it. UFC, what was that? 259? What the hell ever number it was. Let's talk about the illegal knee. Let's just get right in. Let's get right into the illegal knee.
Yeah. I mean,
I mean, it
some
was
people is
illegal.
oh, for sure it was illegal. Some people say he did it on purpose. Some people say his corner told him to do it. Uh, Regardless, it's illegal, and it's not the way anybody wants to win a championship. Um,
Yeah.
as the dude left the belt in the ring, which I thought was a little odd. I mean, take the belt with you. You mean, regardless
He
how
had
you
no
feel
pro
about it,
the,
you
the
still won the thing.
the belt had no problem finding him eventually. Because he was posing with it and taking pictures with it. Look, this is my take. Yan should have known the rules, right? But given that, I mean, it is legal in other promotions. I get all of that, right? I get all of the maybe they were confused, whatever. You're the champion. You should know the rules in the place in which you were fighting. So it's his fault. I would not have disqualified him. I mean, no
How?
contest.
No,
That
the
I mean, what's the
problem is
difference between that and an eye poke that ends a fight? The doctor calls it off
well,
and
here's the
says, "Eye
difference. With
poke, he can't go on, no contest. We're gonna run it back eventually."
Well, they're going to run it back eventually anyway. But the difference is
But the transfer of belts is where I'm
no,
going.
no, I get that. But the difference is the determination by, I'm assuming, the doctor or the judges or somebody on if it was intentional. So they determined the knee was intentional on the spot. Immediately, you saw that judge or doctor
Mhm.
come in the ring. And as soon as that happened, it's over. It's a DQ. So the same thing would be with an eye poke. If they determine the eye poke was completely intentional as opposed to just accidental, it's a DQ.
And that's where I feel that the ref should not he or she should not be put in a place to be able to make those decisions that changes hands of the belt, right? That's it. If you want to later on strip them, UFC wants to strip them of the belt, whatever. I just don't think that the belt should transfer hands because of something like that. Look, I get it. I get the argument of he hit him illegally. He couldn't go on. They said it was intentional, which i.e. says you're cheating. You're cheating, so you don't get to continue to be champion. I get that argument. I just don't like the result. I don't like the result. And then I didn't additional and I you and I debated this on text. I know he didn't want the belt. He threw it out. He left it in the ring, octagon, whatever.
Yeah.
He still went out and celebrated, calling himself the champ. So someone ended up getting in his ear, which I think he blamed his family and his team that said, "Oh, they told me to pose with it and celebrate like I was the champ, so I
Bull.
did." And I'm like, no, but then if your team or family says that, then you need to put them in their place and say, "I'm not the champion. I didn't win it the way I wanted to win it. So don't tell me to pose with it. Don't tell me to celebrate like the champion. I trained for this fight. It got taken away from me, and I didn't get to win the belt." And that's all he should have been saying after and continuing to today.
Yeah.
Everybody still continues to judge him. I mean, I think that there is a contingent of people who don't really understand or know anything about the sport. I mean, there was a myriad of athletes from other sports that ESPN put out there that said, "Congrats, champ. He did wrong. You deserve the win." And I'm like, shut up, Patrick Peterson, or whoever it was that talking about. You don't know anything. You don't know what you're talking about. I have a problem with it. It just doesn't sit right.
I get that. But here's my bigger question is, don't the refs say in the ring before the fights, we've gone over the rules, touch gloves if you want to now, come out swinging or whatever they say.
Yeah.
So if you didn't go over the rules, how does one not know that that's an illegal knee? If you went over the rules, you would know you cannot knee a downed opponent. I'm pretty sure that would probably get said.
No, because what happens is the ref comes in, and I've been in the locker room during those conversations. Ref comes in and goes, "Look, these are the things that I'm looking out for. Don't do those. Fight hard. You'll take advantage of me. I won't take advantage of you, and we'll have a good, clean fight. Okay. Like it's literally a 30 to 45-second conversation. And I'm not saying it happens with all referees. It just happens with all the ones that I've seen, which happen to be all the ones that work in the business right now. So I've seen them all. I've been in the locker room for all of them. It doesn't quite happen. But they're also to their defense. They're not going over a rule book. They're not saying, "Hey, remember this and remember that." They're not doing that, right? They expect the fighter to understand the rules, understand what can be done and what can't be done. They'll run it back, and Yan will get his belt back because he absolutely shown that Aljamain Sterling has nothing for him. That Aljamain Sterling was gassing out. I mean,
for sure he gassed.
He was not going to win that fight. And I think he knows it. And
he looked great in the first 2 rounds. He came out all cylinders go, but it's a 5-round potential fight. It was like, whoa, dude, back off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely not ready for a championship fight with a killer like Yan.
No, I agree. He came out guns blazing, which he looked great, but I think everybody who's watched more than 10 fights in their life knew it was like, you're not keeping this pace up for 5 rounds. There's no chance.
Yeah.
And then, look, illegal knee ended it.
Yeah. And I fought on Twitter with a couple of his team members. They tweeted at me because I tweeted at Aljamain and basically said, "Look, dude, calm down."
Of course you did. Of course
I
you
know.
did.
I said, calm down. You're not the champ. But the next fight is your opportunity to shut all of us up.
Yep.
And not prove that you are a one. And I did. I went there. I said a one-hit wonder.
Come on.
I know. Such a bully, such a troll. But look, I mean, his guys had issue with it. And I said, prove me wrong. I'd love to see him come in and win. I'd love to see it. We're not gonna see it because Aljamain is not a championship fighter. He's just not. And you know what? I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh well, maybe. No, you can tell. You can tell who has it and who doesn't. He doesn't have it. He ain't got it. But anyway, let's move.
I just want to say one thing based on all 3 of those fights. The octagon that is in the, again, I've said this repeatedly, I'll preach forever. That should be the standard size octagon. It forces more action. It forces clashes. It forces them not to be able to just run away and hide. Even when they go for takedowns, the fence is closer, so they actually have to get the takedown sooner, because if not, that dude or lady is in the fence already and your takedown's over. Like, you better be able to take him down. You can't chase him that extra 5-10 feet.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
And then the other fight, she's still to go. I mean,
as expected, Megan Anderson's now a free agent, exploring her options.
But my God,
I mean,
good Lord, just I'm gonna walk through you.
Yeah, I mean, look, her next opponent is going to be Juliana Pena. Julia Pena is already on the PR ban on the train, going saying she's been avoiding me. She doesn't want to fight me. She only fights strikers. She doesn't fight, people who are good on the ground. Juliana, I love you. You're one of my tough alums. She's been on the podcast before. I've talked to her multiple times. Love her. Be careful what you ask for. You might just get it. And then real quick, a few seconds on, I mean, the Polish power is for real.
Oh God, yeah.
And I don't think that there were any surprises. I was surprised it went that long, but I was not surprised by the result.
I was surprised it went to a decision.
Mm-hmm.
I was not surprised by the result. I think, first of all, I think Adesanya had a great game plan and a great fight.
Yeah.
Stick, move, get out of the way and avoid. It was brilliant. Yep. But, to be the champ, you have to beat the champ. You can't just try and outpoint him and hope the judges put it in your favor. That's typically not how they roll. If it goes to a decision, unless it's so dominated by one side, it's usually staying with the holder.
Not in that division either. Correct.
Yeah. No, that's in the heavyweight, light heavyweight for didn't look really under pressure. I mean, Adesanya did when, Polish
Yeah,
Power finally got through, but Polish Power didn't seem phased by anything that hit him. He was
yeah,
like striking. He was like, oh, okay, that's nice. And I
yeah,
like the switch up of the game plan that he had because it didn't look like in round one and most of two he was going to go for takedowns. It looked like he wanted to stand and trade. And then all of a sudden he said, okay, that's enough.
yeah,
Show you how this works. And then he took him down and just worked on him.
yeah.
And it was like, welcome to this division.
Which is the game plan against Adesanya? Take him down, take out his speed,
Oh,
and yeah, minimize and negate his speed, get him down on the ground, and lay on him and power through him. It was a great game plan. But let's talk about this Saturday. We got
yeah.
an interesting fight. We got number 3 versus 13, Leon Edwards versus Bilal Muhammad. Look, I mean, you could say this is a nothing burger fight. Look, it benefits Bilal Muhammad and doesn't benefit Leon Edwards.
A
But Leon
100%.
Leon Edwards has nothing to gain here, but he's been inactive for so long. By various things that have come up. But the story that broke, Ariel Helwani said that he refused fights against Covington and other ranked fighters. So
Why?
I don't know. I don't know. I think that look, the UFC typically doesn't like you if you avoid fighting. They just don't. That's it. If you always ask like, why does why does Dana not like this guy? It's usually because they won't kowtow to the brand, to the 3 letters, and they won't take fights. Or
Hmm.
if you're boring, because there are the exceptions like that, like Frankie Edgar. Frankie Edgar won't refuse a fight, but he's boring. He's a boring fighter. Whereas, if you avoid fights, Dana's not going to like you, and the fans aren't going to like you just because you're not around. I think that the fans are
Yeah.
fickle. You produce, they'll love you. If you're not there, it's out of sight, out of mind.
Well, yeah,
So,
I mean,
but
there was guys like that back in the day that fought all the time that everybody loved, and there were guys like that that never fought that people loved and wanted to see fight over and over and over again. And they saw him once, and
yeah,
everybody was a huge fan, and then all of a sudden they disappear for 2 years, and they'd be like, "Oh yeah, that guy,"
yeah,
and then
yeah.
you come back and get smoked, and it was like, "Oh, he's been gone for 2 years." So
Leon Edwards got taken off of the rankings late last year because he was inactive. He
yeah,
just wasn't fighting, so he was taken out. He's back in at number 3 again and got that ranking back. But look, I mean, if Bilal Muhammad beats him, Bilal Muhammad is now in the top 10. I mean, that's it. That's all. That's it for Bilal Muhammad. Like, whatever. Great, good job. Move on.
if
Leon
Bilal
Edwards
Muhammad beats him
wins.
handedly, I put him in the top five.
I
I
mean,
mean, he's been on a tear recently. He's had some great fights.
yeah, I guess. I mean, look, Leon Edwards has to beat him spectacularly in the first round in order for anything to come out of this. Leon Edwards needs to fight real fighters. He needs to be able to fight top 5 guys in order to get a title shot, especially in that division. I mean, as a welterweight, you you can't hide from people. It's apparent that Leon Edwards takes time off even in the octagon, right? Like he'll be ahead in points. He'll realize, look, I got this in the bag. This guy's got nothing for me. He fought Gunnar Nelson and he realized this guy got nothing for me. I'm fine. I'm fine now. And
Yeah.
then basically Nelson steals around, right? And you got to be careful with that because a guy who steals around could steal 2, could steal 3, and all of a sudden, you've lost a fight, right? So
Yeah.
I think that's what happens when you're so talented, far and away above your competition. You get bored.
I mean, I have to assume you're correct, but it's not fun to watch as a Joe fan.
Yeah. You want to see finishes. Like that's what the
Oh
fans want
God,
to
yeah.
see. That's what the UFC wants to see. No one look, the UFC in a perfect world wants 1 round fights all the way through with someone getting completely obliterated.
Well, yes and
Uh,
no. They
us-
want one round.
or
They
or
want one
five
round
five round
fights.
slobber knockers, right?
Yeah, exactly. They want the one round fights that are really exciting, or they want the 3 5 round fights that are back and forth, slugfest, going to the ground and people working on the ground trying to submit, reversals, submissions, they get back up, they're punching each other, basically, what was it? Forrest versus what's his name?
But high action fighters. That's what the UFC
yeah.
wants. So regardless, I guess, I'll take a step back. Regardless of the result, the UFC wants high action fighters. They want Street Fighter 2, Ken versus Ryu, like back and forth. I mean, right? Like that's what they want. And that's what the fan wants.
They
that's
want
what
the Forrest
expect.
Griffin. They want the Griffin Bonner fight.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Look, that set the tone forever. It will always be the cowbell,
God, yeah.
which every other fight follows. So
you watch that fight, you could watch a replay of that fight right now, and you would be like, "This is an amazing fight."
Yeah.
It wasn't super technical, but they beat the crap.
But it was
out of
high action and exciting.
Oh, high action beat the crap out of each other for sure.
Speaking of high action and exciting, the 3-point line. Let's move to the NBA.
Yeah, let's talk about that crap. So the NBA is thinking of changing it. I don't know how. I don't think even they really know how. Even regardless of what they said, I don't think they have a clue what they're going to do.
Yeah.
But you can't push it out any farther. If you do, you're going to lose it on the sides. The corner three is going to go away. Because already, as we were talking about, it arcs and then it hits like an elbow and just goes straight down. So what do? You just push it out and you lose the corner three completely?
I mean, it's the PTI guys yesterday were debating the fact that, like, look, it's an invention of the NBA. It can easily be an extinction of the NBA. And I'm like, no, it's not going anywhere. It's here to stay. There are players that make their money and their livelihood based on the three-pointer, Stephen Curry, et cetera, that without the three-point shot, they don't really exist in the way they exist now.
Well, but they also have range that if they pushed it back by hypothetically 5 feet, they'd be fine.
So you don't get rid of it is what I'm saying, right? Like, don't get rid of it. But yes, adjust it, move it back. What did you suggest earlier? You suggested taking out the sides.
Take out the corner three. So you have the hook, you have the curve at the top of the key. So you're just pushing that out, but then you don't just leave the elbow in the straight line, because then where the curve is farther away than the corner three. So I think if they do that, they're not going to have a choice, because if they leave the hook 5-10 feet out, but then leave the corner three at the same distance, where do you think they're going to be sitting and shooting from? Oh, I could take a 23-footer, or I can take like a 30-footer.
Like, I'm a bigger fan of volume twos. I mean, I like threes in certain scenarios, but I like I like a nice mid-range jumper. I mean, and
stop and pop.
Yeah, or a nice pick and roll. I mean, I'm Stockton to Malone. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of that. Like I wish more guys did that. Yeah,
Tim Duncan.
Exactly. I wish more guys did. I wish more guys did that.
I mean,
I wish more teams did it.
I think that the 3-pointer's gotten out of control.
Yes.
You know what it is? It's indicative.
Because it's lazy.
No, but it's very indicative of what's going on throughout sports. You got the 3-pointer in basketball, and you've got the home run / strikeout problem in baseball. It's really no different.
Yeah, because I feel like the new generation of athlete is lazy. They want fast results, and they're just trying to get to those results as quickly as possible. A home run, strikeout, and a 3-point shot gets you to that very quickly. But
I mean, look, how many games have we watched this season, you or I, where you see a guy dribbling around and he's at the 3-point line and he dribbles inside and he very clearly could go up in the air and lay it right off the glass. Maybe a little contested, but usually not that contested. But he instead dribbles back around, ends up at the 3-point line, or kicks it out to somebody who's open for three and they shoot it. And it's like, you were right there.
Yeah. We just talked about it. The Syracuse game today.
Yeah, they lost today. Oh well.
I mean, were they playing Virginia? Is that who they were playing?
Yeah.
So I don't know these guys, the players, but apparently the perimeter players are dribbling around, passing amongst each other. This 7-footer, who's clearly a foot taller than everybody else around him, right, is sitting there wide open.
He's even
multiple times.
Got his arm up,
calling for the ball. Give me the ball, right? Give me the ball. They are completely ignoring him. they finally get it to one guy who ends up shooting a 3-pointer. Okay, a 3-pointer to win the game,
Yep.
which obviously was they didn't need a 3-pointer because it was 69-69. So they didn't need a 3-pointer. They just needed 2 points. I mean, can I get someone to drive to the hole and draw a foul? I mean,
Well, that's the other thing that's
again,
dead.
but again, it goes back to they're lazy, and they're going to review the tape and they're going to say, "Why didn't you pass? Why didn't you pass? Is it because you don't trust him to make it?" Because the right play would have been to pass to your center and let him go up and dunk it. So something else, and I didn't watch the rest of the game, so I don't know what his performance was like.
I'm gonna look it up.
But the smart play would have been to pass it off to the center and let him go up and
What
take
happens to, like, Shaq posting up and you feed the big man, have him turn and just flush it down and then run back down the court and play defense? Freaking
I
gone.
mean, he obviously did
Sad.
also look like an awkward center who barely moves. He's always just been bigger than everybody else, and that's how he gets to play basketball. But anyway,
I have no idea who their center is, so I'm gonna guess here, and it's probably looks like he has 13 points. If this is, I mean, this guy is 0 for 0 for threes, so I'm assuming that that's him. Yeah, that's him. He's 7-1. So him as a forward, whatever. He's a center.
He's a center. He was posted up in the middle. Anyway,
sitting in the paint, whatever.
Like I said, it just goes back to laziness. Moving on. Anything else? What do you got?
Yeah, so Texas, I don't know if you saw the announcement. The Rangers announced that for opening day, they want a full house, full of fans. So what, 40 some odd thousand people in their new ballpark?
Yeah.
No, a little soon. It's like 3 weeks, 2 weeks. What are you doing?
Is it? I thought the pandemic was over.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Everybody's opened up. Texas, Mississippi, they're all open now.
Yeah. Well, first of all, no. Second of all, it's going to be a bad idea. Not everybody's going to be vaccinated yet. I'm assuming there's a mask mandate. I have to hope, although I know Texas said you don't need masks, but I'm hoping the Rangers say you're welcome in the park, but you have to wear a mask.
They should be handing out masks as people come in, like that's the giveaway or something. I don't know.
That's actually a good idea. First game back, it should be the giveaway. Or first like 2 weeks, be like, here's your mask.
Yep.
With the team logo. I want one. Not theirs. I want a Dodger one, but
apparently like the pandemic's over in some states. And look, I don't know that the science will dictate if this was the right or wrong decision. It just will. Yeah. I mean, on paper, the hypothesis is this is the wrong decision, that opening up 100% and removing a mask mandate is absolutely not the way to handle this, end of a pandemic as we near an end of a pandemic. But we'll see. I mean, Texas could be laughing in all our faces a month or two from now and say, see what happened? Nothing. A whole lot of nothing. And that's usually the argument of why people are like, just open back up, because a lot of nothing happens. The argument of, the low percentages amongst healthy middle-aged individuals is nil. I get all of that. I get the stats behind that. I'm not comfortable with us ramping up so quickly.
Yeah, you can't go from 0 to 100 that fast in a pandemic.
Well, apparently we did. Speaking of which, Disneyland back open.
Well, it will be. I think April 1st.
Will be. Yeah.
Or that's Disney's April Fool's joke. I'm truthfully not sure.
I don't know. I mean, the worlds have been open. All the Disney worlds.
Like 40% capacity, and they've been doing great. So I'm assuming because of that, they figured out how to run a park.
Yeah. I mean, it's all based on county numbers. So as long as Orange County can
stay once it's open,
a certain limit.
I'll go. I'm not going to go opening day because I think it'll be insane, but I'll make a reservation and go happily. I'll go see the Magical Kingdom.
I'm good. I mean, one, I don't have the vaccine yet, but two, even if I did, I never liked all of those crowds at Disneyland anyway. So
that's what I'm saying.
I'm probably good for a while.
If it's only 40% capacity is max they can do, the park will be a lot less crowded. You'll actually be able to see it. It'll be nice. You won't be in a sea of people. It'll be lovely.
And until you're inside of a tunnel waiting for a ride, or you're inside of Pirates of the
Again, but they
Caribbean,
figured
and
it out in Florida. I don't think it'll be an issue. They'll socially distance people in line. Not that hard.
yeah, I
Put
know.
little
I
dots
mean,
on the ground. Stand here,
I
stand here, stand.
I also would like to see how Disneyland has upgraded their filtration systems.
Yeah.
I don't hear much about that, right? Like, I'd like to hear we've upgraded our filtration systems and this is how it handles this. We're not hearing a lot of that at all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So that's
I
unfortunate.
I'm excited to eventually go back and see it. It's been a year plus. Just go. Plus, I haven't been on that Star Wars ride. I always forget the name of it. Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah, it's garbage. I don't like it. I don't
I
like
haven't
it.
been on it. No, I don't think you've been on it. That was the other one, not the Falcon ride.
Oh, okay. The Falcon ride is what I was on, and that made me
Yeah, yeah.
sick.
Were you the gunner?
No, I was a pilot.
Oh, you were the pilot?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like that virtual reality
Yeah.
movement crap.
Yeah,
So
Rise of the Resistance I've heard is great, but obviously I didn't get the chance to go on it before the world shut down. So now that if it opens at 40%, I've got a shot.
good luck with that.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm excited.
May the odds be ever in your favor.
Oh, wrong universe. Sorry. May the force be
But
with
anyway,
you.
yeah, that's all I got. You got anything else?
Yeah, I just want to say Georgia and Iowa for passing those voting laws. Go yourselves.
Yeah. Yes. All of that. Yeah, I mean,
You.
all you can do is keep fighting the good fight and hope that
God.
yeah, it's look, we know it's voter suppression.
Oh,
We know that
absolutely it is.
it's so blatant and so dishonest, and I think that to be honest, I think that the federal government needs to control how voting takes place for federal votes, splitting that away from look, if the state wants to handle and do voter suppression for state stuff, do you for federal government, they can step in and affect something for those votes. Figure it
Yeah,
out,
well, if and when either of those end up in the Supreme Court's hands, I am reading that
which they
case like
will.
it's if that's not 9-0, oh
Yeah, yeah.
if there's a dissent, it's gonna be like, are you kidding me?
Well, there will be a dissent, and look, I am not opposed to voter ID laws that make sense. That
Yeah.
I mean, should you have to prove that you can vote? I don't think that is a I don't think that that's far fetched to ask. Can I see an ID? And I understand that there are certain socioeconomic things at play that where asking someone for an ID can be looked upon as discrimination. However, I am on the other side of that fence where I say, if you have the right to vote, you should be able to have some sort of ID. Just prove who you are. That's it. That's it. You know, if your name's Joe Smith and you live at this address, shouldn't you be able to have a form of ID and some
Driver's
piece of
license, ID
piece of
card,
mail,
passport,
something,
a
just
bill.
something. You can't just go in blindly because then, because also too, I feel like if you can do that, then it encourages not voter fraud, because voter fraud is very, 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 very minuscule. I'm talking about you're able to then tell the people who say voter fraud exists to say, but no, it doesn't, because we have confirmed that 99.9999% of people showed their ID in order
Yeah.
to vote. I mean, I that's the way I look at it. Is it's more of to shut the opposition up.
Yeah, look, the Republic. Ugh. Should
Look,
go on
I
for
mean,
hours, so I'm gonna
yeah,
prevent myself from doing it. Just
yeah. Anyway,
I got
thanks for
nothing else.
listening. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think. Red, blue, purple, whatever you are. Sports fan, not sports fan. Thank you for, like I said, listening, watching on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, wherever you are. Thank you for letting us spend some time with you. I'm DJ. That's Dustin. We're out.
I found my Twitter account, but I don't remember the at sign.
Just Adam. It's Jack Dorsey.
Yeah,
At Jack Dorsey.